time is now.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome. We got a new stream going, so it is the instant match reaction. Newcastle United giving up another lead, 2-2. Brilliant first half, and then we just disappeared. I don't know. I mean, what a contrast between the two halves. It's unbelievable. The same old Newcastle of the season, as opposed to the first half, who was an anomaly, to be fair, this whole season. Compare the same with Man City and Everton. And then today, the first half would have been an anomaly because we haven't been playing like that. But it was great to see. It was great to see that, the players were doing great. Gordon was amazing. Gordon was doing great. Everybody was performing. Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was up to par with the expectation of the game. It was shocking to some fans because of how the season had been unfolding. And then once again in the second half, no reaction, no proactivity, mistakes by certain players. And we said, this you can see it coming. You can see it coming. So why are we not adjusting to the situation? Why are we not making changes to more or less make something happen, make a change? Nothing, man for man all the time. That is the Eddie Howe way, and unfortunately, and also combined with players' mistakes. Only one mistake that's in. Also, I think obviously Malik Chow on the second goal, but obviously nobody else was there as well to try to everybody forward. But other than that, really, I don't really see many player mistakes that cost us to lose the lead. It's more about, okay, we got to maintain discipline. We got to keep it going. We got to be tactically adapt to the situation, and you're only relying on energy if you make main for main changes, center forward for center forward, winger for winger, then you're only relying on energy. And unfortunately, that wasn't enough for Newcastle United to maintain a 2-goal lead. If you allow them to score once, you better believe they're going to push and push and push. They got quality players. We weren't able to maintain and adapt, so therefore we are in a tough situation, giving up lead now 13 points. 13 points. It's just unbelievable. We got the call line, of course. Call us 0191-916-8864. We got Paul from Pumpy calling us right now. Paul, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm sort of like half good, half bad, because the first half, that was the best I've seen Newcastle play. The first half is the best by a mile. They wanted it. They looked amazing. And the second half, they switched off. It was just like, I don't get it. The first half, we looked brilliant. We looked brilliant. We looked really, really good. We looked really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but isn't it crazy? Because some fans will say, what you on about? It's a draw against Chelsea, top of the contenders or whatever you want to call it. But there's a reason why the immediate feeling for the natural reaction for a Newcastle fan is to feel like a loss, feel like a defeat, because this is not the first time. It happens all the time. So at some point, we
were 2-0. Chris, we were 2-0 up half time, and Chelsea couldn't. They got in a half about a minute. They didn't create one chance in the first half. They didn't create nothing. We pressed them. The players looked up for it. Everything was working out. It looked like I slagged off Gordon. I said I was annoyed that he was in the team, but he was amazing. He was amazing in this game. He played brilliant. But we were rubbish. We were rubbish second half. They tried, but I don't.
You sound knackered, Paul. You sound knackered, mate.
I am knackered. I'm not knackered. I'm not knackered. I'm not knackered. But three, we could have got 3 points from that. We 2-0 up at half time at home at St James's Park,
Mm-hmm.
and we got nothing.
Note. Zilch.
Yeah.
Gary.
What are your thoughts on this, Chris? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, man, as I said it, man, it's the same old, really. So it's not really much new to say. I've said it. We got to be careful. We've been, our problem is not scoring. Said that, in the first half. Got to be careful. Got to be disciplined and just a lot. It just happens to Newcastle, It just happens to Newcastle. It's when it happens too often, then there's got to be a fault to it. There's got to be a culprit, but it continues to happen, of course. But
Lewis Marley, by the way, Lewis Marley is quality. He's absolute quality. We need to keep that boy.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I can hear it in your voice, mate. You're disappointed, and I understand that because,
I am
like I say,
gutted. I'm gutted.
It feels like a loss again. And listen, I understand. There's lots of people, in the same vein, and everybody. We always look at the negative side. The positive was the first half. I thought it was outstanding. For me, when you see how Maresca changes the side, the way you bring Enzo on, and straight away they control the midfield. Newcastle, and Eddie Howe, they need to adjust. They need to do something different just to squash it, and that could be. You don't have to go defensive to squash what they've brought onto the field of play. You just need to go and say, right, instead of us going and attacking now, go man marking the midfield. Just stop the play, right? And what we do then, instead of committing the man for man when they got their second goal, which is again, you're going man for man. When you're 2 goals and you've conceded a free kick, right? You can't help that. I mean, there's a couple of people blaming Ramsey for that. He took one for the team. And again, it was allowing them to dominate that midfield. We looked so leggy in the midfield today, come, the 60th minute. There needed to be a change. And once you get to 2-1, even Chris said, goals change the way the game goes. So what you have to do is stifle the play. And all their play then come from Caicedo and Fernandes in the middle of the park. Santos created nothing. And again, Pedro was isolated to a degree. But once Fernandes come on and Reece James then started to make... Fernandes goes then and plays in the high 8. So you get, Palmer with Fernandes and Santos playing in the hole. James then comes into the 6, playing from that right back into the 6. It does create opportunities to that left-hand side. And again, it's an area for me where I would have said to Alanga, right then, go and play on that left-hand side. Because Reece James was knackered. He was gone. Cucurella, as poor as he was, Cucurella, he's still matched you pace for pace. And unfortunately, Alanga just hasn't got the mentality or the skill set to beat a player. So for me, I'd have said to Alanga, go and play on the left-hand side. Say to Harvey Barnes, come and play centrally so you can dominate that midfield. Put Alanga out there and just leave the right-hand side. Because what you do then is you can say to the likes of Bruno or Tonali, just play on the inside of the right-hand side just to block off any of Cucurella's play. And it works. I just can't understand why sometimes Eddie Howe sits on his hands.
Paul, last thoughts, mate.
We know this. We know this. So why does Eddie Howe let it happen? It's mental. It's mental.
That's the situation where we will never find out. we don't know. We still trying to figure that out.
Half time is the best I've seen us play ever. This season.
The intensity was back, which is great. Paul, we got to let you go, man. We got other calls starting to call in. So finish your thought, please.
Okay, mate. I'll speak to you. Have a good evening, boys.
Finish your thought. Finish your thought. What were you going to say?
What I was going to the first half was the best of the first half. It's the best first half I've seen us play all season. But we were rubbish the second half. We're absolutely useless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was we expended so much energy in the first half that we couldn't recuperate in the second half.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, Paul, thank you very much for calling us, mate. Call us again, all right?
Okay,
thank
mate.
you very much, buddy. Have a good
Bye,
one.
bye.
That was Paul there, folks. Call us now. Have your say. A lot of people trying to call and have their say. 0191-916-8864. Thank you for the super chat. Chapaton 7, $2 there. No message, but thank you very much indeed for supporting the channel. Please super chat if you can. Help the channel grow and fund itself. And hit the like button, most importantly. That's free. Please do that. And yeah, we're going to continue to bring you these call-in match reactions, because people want to have their say, and people are, you know, whatever you want to say, whether you're happy, clapper, bedwetter, in between, you don't know what's happening, or you just don't care. Call us now and have your say. The thing is, there's, you know, some people say it is what it is, get over it, or we're overreacting. I don't see where the overreaction is. You know, people's natural reaction, that's the reacting, if you will. How, you know, Paul, he'd been a Eddie Howe backer, but his natural reaction tells him to be knackered. You know, there's nothing, you can't fake that. Trapattoni, we got robbed. Foul on Gordon was injury purpose. Thank you very much. Well, I will admit that I was gutted on that particular play. It should have been a penalty, to be honest. It should have been a penalty. And that could have changed things, of course, but you can't dwell on that when the game. Unfortunately, you have to move on. You know, unfortunately, you have to move on.
I mean, like I say, I've seen those given, and like I say, I've seen them not given. And I think that, to me, when it's a 50-50 and a coming together of bodies, then you can understand it. But Chalobah had no intent on that ball. He was just literally looking at the player. And for me, I'm just having a look here. The referee's call on no penalty in Newcastle was checked and confirmed by VAR, with the contact from Chalobah on Gordon deemed to be side to side on a shielding action and the ball within playing distance of the player. There you go.
Yeah, whatever.
That was the reasons why they didn't give the penalty. But again, I'm sure it would probably have been given the other way or looked at differently if it was the other end. Not saying anything else.
Let me go with some chats right now. Thank you, Trapattoni, for the super chat, and see what people are saying. Call in now and have your say, folks. Howie Kenny says, "Isn't Mike Dean head of refs?" He said it was a penalty on Gordon. We got Jordan calling us now from Newcastle. Jordan, how are you?
Hiya, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. So what do you think of the game, mate?
I mean, I don't even know what to say, to be honest.
Well,
the referee was shocking.
It was shocking, that's true about that. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know about Gary, but I'm very pissed off with the referee at the minute.
Oh, yeah, but, you know, life moves on, man. You got to move on quickly. You know, you're still playing. Chelsea's not stopping for feeling sorry for you. So that's the problem, you know. The problem is that we didn't continue to fight, and we didn't continue to make the right adjustments, you know. The thing is, though, the thing is thinking that a 2-2, that you score 2 goals, and therefore that's it. You know, there's nothing else to be looked at. There's nothing to be judged. You just continue with that. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be proactive at times. You got to do things, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think sometimes, like I say, it's that, for me, the naivety. You know, when you're winning games, why do you still have to chase a game as if it's still 0-0? I understand if it's 0-0 and you want to go out there and get a result. I understand that when you go man for man. But when you're 2-1 up and the game has changed, the game has turned towards Chelsea, that's when you dig in. That's when you say, listen, let's give them no space in the half spaces, if you like. Let them have the ball in their defensive area. And then when we get the chance to press, we press as a unit. You don't commit like we've committed today by going man for man high up the field and leaving the likes of Pedro and Chow on the halfway line. It is, you know, suicide. Yeah. And again, we've questioned, why on earth does not Newcastle do something like that? Because it shows that you can get something from it if you put somebody up on the halfway line with an ounce of ability, that is. Obviously, I wouldn't put anybody up there because, like I said, as good as Elanga is on speed, he certainly didn't look like he was the fastest or one of the fastest players in the Premier League today when he had the opportunity to run through on goal. So I don't know. There's still a lot of question marks for me about management and coaching of the team when it comes to making the right decision at the right time. And I know there's been some lots of criticism towards me, what I said about putting Elanga on the left-hand side and Miley playing on his own against 2 players. what you do is you affect the game to make a change. And what, like I said, what you could do then is move Tonali over to the inside right position to stop Cucurella moving forward. So you have to listen to what I'm saying before you make a response like you've just done. So I'll just leave that one out there.
It seemed like there were boos at the end of the game.
Yeah, there was lots of boos.
That's interesting because the crowd might be getting tired. It'll be interesting to see what Toon has to say. He lives around St. James's. Jordan, thank you very much for calling us, buddy. Appreciate it. Okay, have a good day.
Thank you.
See you, bud. That was Jordan there from Newcastle. Call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. Call us and have your say, folks. Go away, man. Listen,
yeah, absolutely.
Don't only call when we win, well, which it hasn't been when we won last game. We got Chris from London now. Chris, I'm assuming we're not going to fight today, man.
No. I'm not. How do I put it? Like, I'm in a good mood because I got my bank card back because it got lost. But it's typical. It is typical because yeah, we got a draw. But Gary's got a point. When you go 2-0 up, you think you'd have a manager that could systematically, if he has to, change the formation to block Chelsea from getting any more goals. But it's like there's chicken running at a wall with Newcastle United, and I don't think I can watch any more matches, mate. Like, how many more points does Newcastle have to drop? Like, there's 51 points. We've got 23. That's averagely below half we picked up. No one can defend that. How long do we have to have a PE teacher before we go and get someone that actually might know what they're doing?
Listen, I understand and I can see the frustration, and this is what I said. You know, for me, people are saying about we were moaning last week about being too defensive. When I say you don't have to go out and attack, you don't have to go out and do man for man. All you have to do is become narrow. How many times do we sit too wide like we did today? We still play with the same formation, playing, but when you're 2-1 in the lead, and the game is turning. So what you have to do is just pull your players and could become narrow. You don't have to become defensive. You've just got to stop the middle of the play from being, from being played against the opposition. Get the ball back and then you go wide. You start making those runs out wide. It's so simple. But today, you keep the same shape. You keep the same line. Everybody stays on the touch line. There's so much space in the middle of the park for people in a blue shirt to utilise. It doesn't make any sense for me to keep the same shape.
Yeah.
Well, Chris. Gary, you got a point there, mate, because, I'm a big football enthusiastic. I play Football Manager for the past 20 years. You learn a bit about tactics. You learn what players can do in possession and out of possession. Our club looks like they know what they're doing in possession. They have no clue what to do when they're out of possession. Like you said, you could play like most clubs play two players further up the pitch, even if they've got a corner against them, so they have an outreach, a place that they can punt the ball and someone can hold the ball up and pass it on to have an attack. We don't do that. We do 4-5-1, and to be fair, we look like Man United. We look like we're playing 3-4-2-1. Like we literally sit in our own half. I don't know what the mentality is with go 2-0 up and don't bother pushing. Because you know as well as I do, if you can hold the ball and stay in their half, even if you can't score, it gives them less opportunities to have a go at your goal.
Well, that's the problem is not about, because people were going to say, what did Eddie Howe do? He didn't make the mistake. He didn't score the free kick. That's not the point. The point is here that he does. We started in the second half. He waited until the 70th minute to make changes, and it all like for like. So again, what are you relying on? The fact that Wissa will look at Wissa. Look at Wissa today, the savior of Mighty Win and some fans. What happened? Nothing, because that's what happened with Walter Mata as well. Not in this game in particular. I'm talking about earlier on. Nothing happened.
Chris, it's not about who we're playing, mate. It's about what the manager's doing to set up the team. We can all say Voldemort the best. Yes, he did really two really good goals. Gordon was playing and pushing down the wing. But the fact is, Gary knows this, and most people know this. At the end of the day, when you go into a match, a manager has an identity and a tactic that he is going to use to try and win that match. He must have more than one. Look at Maresca. He had another formation that he switched to in the second half. I'm sorry, you could blame it on the players as much as you want, but who is the person that trains them and tells them? They don't just do what they want to do during a football match. Most football teams are routinely drilled.
But that's my exact
like,
point.
Anything they do, it's Eddie Howe's. Like, he's telling them it.
My point was,
because if he's not, why is he not dragging them off?
My point. Let me finish my point. Because my point was, it's not about the play again. Because people were blaming Voltemada, for example, when he wasn't scoring goals, and they wanted Wissa. The point was always that the team wasn't performing for the center forward like we did in the first half today. Shockingly, we did it well, but in the second half, what happened? We weren't there, and the fact is that the manager doesn't make a proactive change. You think if you in today and age, if you're a fan, because we're all fans here, if you're in today's day and age, you think that because you're up 2-0 in the first half, that means you can't touch nothing anymore, then you have a problem. You can't think that nowadays. You got to be proactive and beat the other man to the punch. It might work, it might not work, and it's not about a draw against Chelsea. It's about 13 points lost from a lead, whether St. James's Park or away, and that is the biggest problem that we got. Chris,
does that not show you that you have a manager that does not know how to see out a match? Well, and if it is, that's a big problem, and it needs to be replaced. Because if you've got a manager that can go 2-0 up, because we had a manager like this before. Gary, do you remember the game when we were 2-0 up against Chelsea years ago, and that went tits up and sideways? We ended up losing it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem.
That's what I'm saying. When you've got a coach who sticks to the same formation, and that's what I said. Maresca, as much as I still think he's a coach that's learning, he's also a coach that is willing to try and change something. And he's got players there, the likes of Enzo Fernandez, who brings a different direction to the way the team plays. And again, Reece James, good player. You saw him playing in the 6th role in the first half. Didn't quite happen for them because for me, the makeup, again, Palmer for me was really lax playing in that 10 role. So there was no outball for them.
So Gary, do we have to send Eddie Howe to go and work under Pep Guardiola to learn how to be a football manager? Because it seems that all the people that have worked underneath him have gone off and they're doing all right with other clubs. So do we have to send Eddie Howe to Man City to learn how to manage?
Look, if you ask me, if you, because I know where you want to get at this point, and I understand that because I've been there, and I'm saying I'm not going to backtrack because it took me a while to say sack Eddie Howe because he's not learning and nothing's going to change. Even if we finish in Europe, we need to sack Eddie Howe because you're not making any progress. But I'm not trying to be a bedwetter, a happy club, whatever. I'm just trying to be.
Chris, please. I'll say this one thing. I'm not going to be rude, right? It needs to stop with this bedwetter and Eddie Howe in. The fact is, everybody that wears a black and white shirt and sits in the stand has to viably see, what do you want for your football club? It ain't about who the manager is. We can replace him. We could go through 5 bad managers. The fact is, these results will keep happening under the same manager. I'm sorry to say it, but how many times have we seen this? It happened last season with a bad kickoff. The season before, we won 1 out of the first 4. Like, it just keeps happening. The manager is not learning. And the fact is, as long as fans keep backing him, and they go, oh, well, we're good, we'll just keep going. We'll just go with Eddie because we're scared of anything that happens in the future. It's going to be the same results. You've seen it. How many points have we dropped from leading a game? If your manager can't learn how to adjust, it's proven by the amount of points we're dropping. He cannot learn. He is too stubborn to try and learn. Well, the reason why I mentioned Pep Guardiola is because everybody that's gone off and learnt off of him has learnt how to become a manager for now. Look at Maresca. He's improved at Chelsea over the 2 seasons he's been there. Yeah. He won the Club World Cup and the Europa League with a bunch of players that finished. Where did they finish, Gary? 14th the season before? Well, it is proven. Like, you can't just keep going and going and going. It's like hitting a rock against your head and thinking you're not going to get brain damage.
Well, listen, you're not going to get an argument from me out of that. But you know, I agree with you 100%. That doesn't seem like he's ever going to learn. So,
like I said, mate, it's not anger. It's just realism. What you see with your eyes is what is telling you the truth. There's no such thing as blind loyalty. What you are seeing is the truth. Fans pay, Chris, £30 to watch, what is it BT Sports or Paramount to watch the Champions League, yeah? So in order to watch 2 matches, you've literally got to pay 30 quid. To watch Sky, it's like £16 on that match now. So fans are paying a lot of money to be entertained, not to watch that in the second half.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chris, thank you very much for calling us, mate, and have a good one, all right? And hopefully when we play Man United next, we're knackered. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna
exactly. Thanks a lot. All right, take care, guys.
Cheers, Chris.
See you, man. Have a good one. We got the mighty win on. Call us now, folks. Have your say. 0191-916-8864. Win. A lot of people win for your response tonight. Surprisingly, because but they want to know what you think about the game. So there you go, man. You have the conch. What do you think?
What do they call the personnel department now? Human relations.
Human resources,
isn't it?
Human resources.
And I'm on the human relations now, saying who's available.
Love it.
You're out your mind, man.
Mighty Win has turned into the dark side, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not quite. But I want to see who's available and what we've got going on, because that, despite the first half being exceptional, the second half was not acceptable.
We are knackered.
Albeit, I still maintain the 2 goals were down to individual errors. Nothing to do with a team kind of thing. So it was nothing to do with a team that caused those 2 goals. It was Joe slipping uncharacteristically. And I think, you go, if Nick Pope's in goal, he saves that.
Away, man, away.
Away, man. Now you screwed it up after that. You screwed it up after that. By the way, I'm not gonna lie. I will criticize Ramsey because I don't think Gary agrees, but I think that he was a little onto once he was wide open this side wherever the goal went in. But we will shall see.
I haven't had a good look at the replay yet, but I think Bruno might. Did Bruno duck in the wall?
Yeah, he did. He didn't want to hit. He didn't want to hit in the face. We got a call from Ireland. Sean, I think we know where you're at on this particular performance. What do you think?
Lads, different day, same story, isn't it? Like,
ooh.
I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I knew, like, I knew it was gonna either be a draw at best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew that was gonna happen. Like, there's no way we're gonna win against Chelsea. Like, United, I don't think we obviously might not win against them either. Like, at this stage, like, for me, like, I think today you saw, like, you know what I mean, Howe was up against, I think, a very sort of average to me. Like, you know what I mean? This is Maresca's, first big job, like. Like, for me, it's not even about individual error. The second half, we were pushing the game completely to the first half, like, and Howe didn't know what to do, like. It was as simple as that for me. Like I've been saying, he isn't up to par for me. He has to go. Like, we're going to have good moments in games and we're going to have bad moments in games. And his in-game management is always going to fail him. Like, I think it's that simple. Like, it's not down to individual error. It's the fact that Howe doesn't know how to manage a game. Like, he can't react. Like, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he's not proactive. Like, as soon as they scored that free kick, there should have been a reaction from Howe. Like, bring on someone new. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why we don't, like, if you're chasing a game, why are you changing a forward for a forward? Play both of them at the same time. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, I'm actually fed up with, like.
Thank you, Jordy Dan, for Super Chat. Being reactionary is our identity, says Jordy Dan. There you go. Thank you very much, mate. Ronnie Omelette, a lovely 10-pounder there, says Howe is responsible for game management. Happy Clappers won it both ways. They assign wins to Howe, and if somehow something goes wrong, they blame individual errors, a ref or point at last season. Thank you, Ronnie, very much. Go on, Sean. Sorry.
Ronnie was shifting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that Eddie Howe doesn't have the capabilities of scoring a goal or scoring an own goal, but he does have the capabilities of shifting the momentum, shifting the game, making changes, making proactive changes. Man, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing.
Listen, your prime example today for me, your pantomime villain Anthony Gordon was amazing. Contender for man of the match, and you take him off. Walter Morta's got 2 goals. Walter Morta's on a hat trick, and you take him off.
The problem with that is I usually would agree with that, but the point on that is that you can see that the team was running on fumes because they did in the first half. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing with them coming up, but it's the like for like, it's not going to get it done right there. Or if you're not going to make changes, like you say, no, make changes, but you got to say, look, cross the damn ball, man. Go nuts, go crazy on the sidelines, and if they don't listen to you, then get them off. But you can see, fans can see, look, I know Eddie Howe is telling them to cross. He's telling them to cross, but they're not doing it. They're the numpties. But no, it's the same old. Ilanga coming in. Yeah, Ilanga. I mean, Ilanga coming in.
We are knackered.
So that's the problem, Sean.
Like, I want to ask the question to Wayne and Gary for this one. Like, Wayne was saying at the start of the season, if we win all our home games and draw all our away games, like, that will be fine. Like, but you're seeing that that's not happening this season. So how can you still be on the verge of it? For me, I think it's so evident, like realistically, right? I think we can all agree on this, that Howe isn't going to win us a Premier League or a Champions League. So eventually, even if I agree with you that he hasn't hit his climax rate, right? He hasn't hit his ceiling yet. Like, eventually he will, and eventually we're going to have to move on from now. That's a fact. He's not winning the Champions League, he's not winning us the Premier League. Like, so you might as well start now, like bring in a manager now, and he can hopefully bring us to that next level of possibly winning the Champions League. Like, I mean, you see, like, lads, the Sunderland game, honestly, I'm still not over it. Like, but like, lads, for me, PSR for me isn't an excuse anymore. They spent so much money in the summer and they built a brand new side, like, and that side for me it was inexcusable. We lose, like, but they demolished us, like, do you know what I mean? Like, they beat us fair and square, like. They built a new side, they came and they won, like. It's as simple as that, like. So for me, this excuse for PSR, for Eddie Howe, none of this is. There's no more excuses for him, like, anymore.
Sunderland spent more than we did, and they've got a worse side than we've got.
Well, but Aston Villa didn't spend now, and they're third.
The fact is that they won, like, they're above us in the league currently, and they beat us. Like, that is a fact, like.
Yeah.
The fact is, it was a new assembled team, like. It was and we're struggling to integrate. Like, Howe waits 6 months to integrate Tonali into the freaking team, like, do you know what I mean? Like, last season, like, and he waits ages. Like, the fact is that they built a new team and they came and they beat us, like, simple as that, like, and they're on their ways now, like. So this excuse of, like, that we need to slowly integrate them, all these excuses for how I'm fed up with them now, like, because there's evidence, like.
Yeah, no, and some of the players are rubbish as well.
So for instance, for Gary, where are you at, for instance? Are you still on the verge for it, or are you still back in Howe, or where are you, like?
Like I said, I don't want anybody. I don't look at managers getting sacked or anything like that. It's a fact that you've got to see a change. You know, as in you've got to see some way. And again, you know, it's about management. It's about the coaching style. And for me, it just goes a bit criminal when you see the amount of points that we have given away this season from winning positions where, again, under a different mindset, do we see those games out with the same players that are on the field of play? Because for me, when you make a tactical change, as Chris has already highlighted, going like for like and playing wide still opens up the midfield when you're leading the game. So you've got to start stifling the areas where Chelsea are very strong. You look at the players that they've got through that middle of the park with Casado and Enzo. You know, once they come on to, well, especially Enzo, who plays in that 8 position, who marks him then? Who's the one that you take out of your team to mark? Oh, no, we'll just go, we'll stay wide. We'll give him all the space in the midfield. It's not a problem. And it's those little effects of the game that starts changing the way the game moves and develops. If we'd have done what we did in the first half and that stifle all of the game, as we did, you look at the stats of the first half, it is phenomenal how one-sided it was. And that's what I'm saying. They can do it. But when a goal goes against you, sometimes you haven't got to be defensive. You've got to stifle. You've got to stop the supply. And to me, we just didn't stop the supply from the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, that comes down to game management, like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you agree with that, like?
No, listen, the game management part. That's all we talk about.
But to Gary's point, like what he's saying, would you agree that what you're talking about comes down to game management, like, at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see, you know, for me, this would be a new challenge for anybody coming in, because they would have to look at the team themselves and where do we start? If we got a new manager in now, and that's the question I'm going to ask you guys. I am, like I say, if Eddie Howe is still learning, for me, you can't be learning in this situation. You've got to go out there and you've got to start gambling. If you gamble and you lose, then you start holding your hand up and saying, listen, and we saw it with the likes of Kevin Keegan at international level. He knew he was out of his depth at international level because he couldn't change the game and he resigned. I am looking at Eddie Howe now and asking the question, if you can only play with one way of playing and you haven't got the capacity to change, then should you not think of stepping away and holding your hand up and saying, maybe I'm out of my depth here? Because if he doesn't make the decision, then the guys above him all have to make the decision for him. And that's what I'm saying. It's not up to me to sit on the fence. It's not up to me to say, do I want him in or out? It's up to the people there that pay his wages to say, can you take us any further than you can? My decision is immaterial.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think he can. I don't think he can because this continues since last season. Nothing's improved as far as that. He's still the same manager. Yeah, we go in the Carabao Cup and all that, but in the great scheme of things, with all the due respect, with all of our fans in the Carabao Cup, it really isn't anything to be shouting about for the years and years and years to come. At some point, something needs to change. He has to show something else. You know, we can sit here and talk about, forget about the fans, but we can sit here and talk about the Carabao Cup is the greatest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. We can keep on going on and on about it. At the end of the day, players won't stay because of that. Players will not stay or come to Newcastle because of the Carabao Cup. And that's something that we need to think of when it comes to the future years to come. But Sean, thank you very much for calling us, man. That was a great call.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Call us now and have your say, folks. 0191-916-8864. Mighty Win.
On the subject of the referee, of the referee, Mark Clattenburg is adamant that Anthony Gordon should have had a penalty. And that to
it
me
was a penalty.
Was a penalty all day long.
It was a blatant penalty.
And you know, as you say, goals change games. But to me, it was just body checked straight out the road. No ifs, buts, or maybes. But as critical as I was during the match with Chelsea, fans expecting the referee to do certain things, the play goes on, man. You got to continue. You can't be blaming the other team because the referee didn't stop the ball or because a man's down. Blah, blah. Same thing with Newcastle United. That penalty wasn't given. We can whinge about it all after the game, send a complaint, do whatever you need to do, but you gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep playing. You gotta keep this. You didn't get the penalty. You didn't score it. It's still 2-1 or 2-0, whatever it was. You gotta continue. You gotta keep on going, and we didn't. We thought the thing is, Eddie Howe had every right to think that we're gonna continue to do what we were doing in the first half. At halftime, has every right to do that. But at the 60th minute, you know that the players are knackered. Bruno Guimaraes didn't show up to the game. I don't know where he was at. He stayed at his home probably. He wasn't in the game. And he should have been subbed off. Did you see Bruno on the pitch today? Or was he? Where was he at? Did I say Bruno? I thought Bruno had a great game today.
No, he wasn't for me.
All right, that's that. I mean, it's a take. It's a take and a half.
You're dead right. He tired towards the end.
Yeah, the whole team had a good first half. The whole team had a good first half, but the second half I thought was some of the stuff that I was seeing was crazy.
Oh, well, the second,
I think,
and again, it's because probably they're running out of energy, with the exception of Anthony Gordon. For me, the obvious difference in the first half was the press. We were pressing them constantly all the time, including Valdemar at the top.
I know exactly, but I want to.
And that was the difference, and we didn't do that in the second half.
That was the difference. But I want to teach you something, man. The human lungs can only go so much. It doesn't. You cannot go. It just won't happen. It's impossible to continue that. That press and the intensity is never going to be 90 minutes. Therefore, you need to do something about it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. 22-23. We did do it for 90 minutes.
Well, and everybody
that was the difference.
Players in and out. Come on, man. Tony T calling us now. Tony, how are you?
Hello. Let me just mute this.
Yeah, you're going to mute TV. There you go. You there, Tony?
Hey, Tony, mate.
Yep.
So, what do you think of the game, mate?
Yeah, just real quick. I'm a little bit confused. What exactly happened for this second goal? Because I had to go somewhere really quickly, and I'm hearing people saying we sat back, and then I'm swearing Gary saying we were sort of going man for man, pressing them high. So which one was it? We can't be doing both.
We were forward.
We were literally man for man. I mean, Shaw was 3/4 on the half space in the Chelsea half. Chow was on the halfway line, man for man with Pedro. So Sanchez picks the ball up, everybody stays upfield, and it's just one long kick down the field. Pedro manages off the bounce, gets a flick onto it, and what happens is Chow going tight with him, touch tight, loses his footing, and literally Pedro then runs through the middle in front of everybody, and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And that's what I'm saying. You know, for me, you don't need to keep going man for man and keep pressing when you're winning games. The idea is he's seeing games out.
To that would be against Spurs. Yeah, against Spurs, everyone was going, why were we sitting back? Why are we sitting back? We're inviting. So it's like, if Howe can't seem to do right for doing wrong, if he sits back, everyone will go, well, you've invited us. Well, you've left us vulnerable at the back.
Yeah, mate, but so can we not attack without being left vulnerable in the back? Is that not a possibility? I can't agree with you, Tony.
I'm not saying you need to agree with me, obviously, but I'm just glad it sounds like it doesn't seem to be a middle ground with any of the fans. It's like, well, because someone just said before, well, Kevin Keane would go for it, and it sounds like that's what he was trying to do, and we've been caught. We've been sucker punched from the sound of it. Now, we'd have to see the goal, and unfortunately, if Chow doesn't make him slip, and it doesn't sound like his fault from what you're just saying, but it doesn't happen, so it would have been fine. But unfortunately, he slipped, and you can't in-game management a slip. That just happens.
No, you can't. But what you can do is protect, and that's what I said. You don't need to go pressing high up the field of play when you're 2-1 up, and the goal has just got against you.
Gary,
so now you have to manage the game.
If we were further back and Chow still slips, is he not still man on one-on-one with the goalkeeper, even if we were further back?
Yeah, but nobody was there.
Why would you go so high up the field of play and allow just to go to man for man at the back and allow the slip to happen? You've got cover with two at the back. Even if you said to Louis Saul, I mean, like we've been shouting for weeks now about using one of our quick players, the Anthony Gordons or Elanga, to go and sit on the halfway line instead of everybody defending in the half in our goal on set pieces or corners or whatever. That's what I'm saying about defending. When you defend, like you said about Tottenham, you're defending the 18-yard box, and sometimes you're defending the 6-yard box. That creates two problems. Keeper can't see anything in front of him, and like you saw when Tottenham got the equaliser, it came through a bodies of players. That's the difference. When you defend, you can defend literally from the halfway line. You don't have to defend your 18-yard box.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Gary, but there were people on them, so it's not like Howe said, right, go forward and leave gaps for them to run into. There were people on him. And if someone makes a mistake, sometimes there's not much you can do.
Well, I'm talking. I personally disagree with the in-game management. I don't,
the other thing on the in-game management is at the very start of the second half, there was a few people in the the chat saying, I wouldn't change anything. And leading up to their goal, it wasn't like they were all over us. And from what I remember Gary saying, it was Tonali basically sort of being lazy with a pass who then basically put us under pressure. But we don't seem to then go, Tonali should have done better. I will agree there's things that Howe does that I think, what the F are you doing, you bloody moron? But with some of the people's comments about, Howe's just not learning. It's like, you've got to remember, it's like you can't expect Waitrose quality when you're buying the yellow badge as the stuff. And we have not got any of the players we wanted, whereas Maresca and that is able to go out and get who exactly they want. So that is having an effect. But it's still not an excuse because Howe does know what he's got quality-wise.
Yeah, you see,
Neto and Caicedo, Enzo and Caicedo, who ran the short today for me, especially when Enzo came on. They were, you can see why they were over 100 million apiece.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to defend
Caicedo
by
was
going narrow. You can still play the same players. You've just got to shut the shop a little bit and stop the passing. We were like literally hot knife through butter. Through the middle of the park when Enzo came on, and that's what I said. It's having somebody who can change the way when the team when it's not going
Gary,
for you.
I mean, I'd have to see the goal and I'd have to see the highlights if they do put them up on the Newcastle thing with the second goal. But the first goal, you can't surely be blaming that on in-game management.
No, you can't. No, I didn't say that. I said it was a superb quality goal.
No, but I'm saying most of the people who are coming in go, Eddie Howe, no one was saying that in the first half. In fact, people like the Good Doctor and that were going, well, why is he playing them? And then everyone afterwards is going, actually, Miley played really well and Gordon played really well. But no one then goes, Eddie Howe got that right, we got that wrong. It's just hate. Like, give him some credit where it's been getting criticised. And if you're going to say he needs to make changes, I've always been, if you're going to criticise him and say they need to make changes, at least say how you would make the changes. So then I can go, he's got a point there. Maybe like five in the midfield, beef it up in the midfield or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, it's like I said, everybody thinks when you say shut up shop, you're in a defensive mode. You don't. You defend from going forward. But for me, you commit suicide when you go man for man high up the field of play with one ball out. And again, as much as Malik Chow has done fantastic for us since his inclusion, he's probably been the best boy that we've had under, especially this season.
Not Elanga.
Sorry, Malik Chow, not Elanga, not at all. I didn't even want Elanga in a black and white shirt, to be fair. And I look at that and I just think to yourself, sometimes you're just opening the door ajar for a mistake to happen. And I think sometimes with a little bit more nous, you can just have those doors shut. And like I said, Pedro had nothing at all to work off in the first half. That's how good Newcastle were on the press. But you've done the work. That's what I'm saying. We all go to work and we know when to go and when to stay. You know when to gamble. And I just think sometimes Eddie just likes to, play to the crowd sometimes rather than play to win the games. And I think that could be
so one thing I'd like to ask you, Gary, obviously, because you're doing the commentary. I think you mentioned it once or twice in this game, and I don't look like I'm crapping on Tonali because I've seen other people saying this, but where Tonali would chase the ball someone else should be going for. I've noticed a few times when we've conceded goals, like when Botman and Byrne both went for the ball, when, what's his name? The guy for Brighton scored, Welbeck. We've got players who seem to have a habit of following each other rather than, sort of staying where they can. Do you think that's a bit of a problem with our team?
I think I'll be honest with you, the problem that I see with our team, and I've said it from this, when we saw them set up, is the fact that you've got both Tonali and Bruno, both greedy for the ball. They both want the ball. They're both technical, great on the ball. And the problem is then, because of that mentality, they close down the space of the player with the ball because they both want the ball to feet. So you saw today, Tonali goes really close to Miley, on that right-hand side. And what happens then, Miley being the naive player...
He went towards one player and then another, and I just wondered that's a lack of discipline, or would you encourage that?
I don't think it's a lack of discipline. I just think sometimes when you've got a player with the ability that they've got, they want to dictate play, and sometimes what that does is leave us short in the middle of the pitch. And we see it with Bruno a lot of the time, when Bruno goes running across to try and be that dictator, that player who wants to drive forward. We see it with Tonali a lot, and I think sometimes one or the other. I'm not saying you should bring both of them off, because I always think Tonali has that pace in him to recover. I just think sometimes, like today, when Bruno's not having that best game in second half, I think sometimes the gaffer needs to see that and say, I need a pair of fresh legs in the middle of the park. Because even if you lose that quality ball going forward, the technical ability, you've still got the pace to recover.
For midfield, because obviously I didn't watch the game, I didn't see the bench, I just heard what you said and I've kind of forgot. Did we have much in the way of options in midfield?
Well, all I'm saying is you've got Joe Linton on the bench. Now, whether he's fit or not is a different question, but you shouldn't have him on the bench being available if he's not fit.
Tony, last thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to leave why I'm popular. Okay. So leave it there.
There you go, mate. Have a good one,
You're
buddy.
always popular here, Tony. Always popular,
mate.
Take care.
That was lovely from Tony there. Good call. Mighty Wayne, let me ask you a question. Call us now, folks. Have your say. We still got about 10 minutes left on the show. 0191 916 8864. So when you came in saying that you were half in, half out, really, as far as the dark side is concerned, we do, Jordan, by the way, we do got post-match comments for Eddie Howe already posted on the channel. So after this, you can go and watch that. Don't leave yet. Go and watch the post-match comments for him. He said it was a clear penalty. One of the few moments, really, where you actually see him voice anything like that out. So maybe, and at the end of the day, though, he looked in his face. He was knackered as well. But when you say you're half in, half out, so for those, you are a happy clapper. So for those happy clappers that are on to other fans for how they're feeling and how they need to get over themselves and we were great, blah, blah, blah. You're a happy clapper and you are.
Except I've never said that.
You're. Never said what?
They need to get over themselves.
I never said you. So what are you on about? Can you let me finish?
You just said you said I said, and I didn't say anything of the sort.
I never said you said that. I said you said that you are half in, half out. But that's what you implied earlier today. No, don't go back on your word now. So there are some happy clappers that are getting onto dark side fans or bedwetter fans or whatever you want to call them. About getting over themselves and it's just we played great today, blah blah blah. You're a happy clapper, so
I can't answer for what they're saying. All I can answer is what I'm saying, and I've been criticizing. I've been criticizing Eddie Howe for various things all season, and my argument has been that, as far as I'm concerned, he's got sufficient credit in the bank, and he's pulled it out the fire before. He deserves the chance to pull it out the fire again.
Yeah, but
today's result makes it virtually impossible now for us to be within 3 points of Champions League after the Burnley game. It's highly unlikely we're going to be within 3 points. When you're a relegation now, we're 3 points off relegation. If when I looked at the table before, I think there's possibility for Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth and somebody else to win, because none of them are playing each other, and if they all get 3 points, that's us fifth bottom, and that's not good enough.
Yeah. So, but I mean, so what do you say to those fans that think that we had a good game and it wasn't Eddie Howe's fault, or not just blaming their fault, but
I'm not even necessarily today saying that it was Eddie Howe's fault, but it's definitely Eddie Howe's fault that we've been in this position as often as we have this season, and he's unable to affect the situation positively. He's now got a track record of being unable to do that.
There you go.
On a regular basis. And the chances of him now pulling everything out the fire are remote at best. So I would now be looking for a replacement.
Okay. Well, happy clappers, you need to have a word with your chief, man. He's abandoning the captain is abandoning the ship while you guys are still doing the minion work. Happy clappers. We do got a Geordie calling us from County Durham. Steve from County Durham. How are you, Steve? It is a good afternoon over there still, or good evening. What time is it over in Newcastle?
Good afternoon.
6 p.m.
Good
afternoon. Oh no, 3 p.m.
Good afternoon.
Steve, how are you? Steve, what's happening, man? What you got to say? You happy clapping?
Well, I'm so impressed with that performance, apart from the referee.
Yeah.
But I think on the front foot, high intensity, but would kind of keep it up. And I think Eddie should have made changes earlier than he did. But I think you've had all that said this afternoon anyway, haven't you? I think that performance gives me confidence now for the rest of the season. It's injuries as well, but going forward, I'm feeling much better than I did earlier in the season. That performance was much better.
First half performance.
One thing I want to say, which is going to cause controversy. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
His wife,
your lass will keep you right.
So everything's got to go through Bruno. Why do we have to put everything through Bruno? There's other players on that pitch that can play balls, through balls. Everything's got to come back to Bruno time and time again. And that's what frustrates us. Yeah. He's an amazing player, but and he
Yeah,
tired.
good point,
towards
well
the
made.
end.
It's exactly what I said before, mate. He's got to stop dictating play, and unfortunately, you've got young, naive players around him that just offer him the ball, even though there's better options in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, David
Absolutely.
Knight, for the super chat. Give me a second there, Steve. Sorry about that. David Knight, thank you for the super chat. This will keep happening with how the
die is cast.
And whatever that is. But thank you very much, David Knight. Steve, go on.
Yeah, I just think there's like times when I watched, was it the Marseille game and they played to Bruno, and I thought, hang on a minute, the ball could have been played out wide, and Bruno done the same ball, and it was so frustrating. It's time and time again. It happens over and over again. They overplay him.
That's a regular occurrence. Where we'll make two passes where one will do.
Today Bruno was knackered, in my opinion. I don't know what Wynn was watching, but to me, Bruno was knackered. And Tonali was, to his better days, not to the perfect Tonali, of course, but to his better days, he gave up a few balls here.
He was shocking today, Tonali, I thought.
Tonali was shocking, and Bruno was great.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Tonali was running around. As soon as I got in, that was one of the first things I looked. Tonali stats a day. 30 out of 42 accurate passes. For him, that's unheard of. He's always in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah, but hold on, Wayne. It's good to see Tonali back to be pressing and.
Oh yeah, he did. It was good to see the running. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, now. Go on, Steve.
For a long time.
67% in the opposition half, 22 out of 33.
Come on, man. We watched two different. That must have been during Kip time. I don't Kip. When Bruno was playing better in the first 5 minutes or so until the fifth minute. I mean, there's still another lead given away though, Steve. So I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's the frustrating thing, but I think refereeing decisions cost us.
Oh, they were shocking as well, that's right.
Yeah. I think if Gordon had tried to play that ball, instead of just leaning away, I think we would have got that penalty. If Gordon had tried to play that ball, I think we would have got that penalty. I think that was the twist, but it was the wrong decision. It was a penalty all day long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Steve, go on, mate.
We got to let Steve go. Steve, thank you very much for calling us, buddy. Call us again, all right? Hopefully with better results.
No bother.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you, man. Take care.
Take care, mate.
Take care. We got to close up on the show, folks. And finish your point, though, Gary.
No, I was just saying it's interesting to actually see, like Wayne was saying about Tonali. He did give a lot of balls away. Even, me and you were mentioning it during the live commentary. But again, didn't really cause us any issues in certain pockets. Again, Ramsey wasn't really involved a lot of the time in that midfield battle, if you like, but he did an okay job. And again, you're introducing another player into that centre midfield, and you've got to build relationships. So that's what I said. You can still see there's a lot of problems in that midfield at times because we do give the ball away cheaply when there's other options. And I just think sometimes you've just got to learn how to control the tempo of the game. It's about getting the win. And at the end of the day, the first half, it's a game of two halves. This game was a perfect example of a game of two halves. You starve Chelsea of anything the first half. You're going to drop off in the second half, so then it becomes management of the game. There's no way you can play the way you played in the first half for a complete 90 minutes. And that is what this team have to learn, and whether it becomes not defensive. I don't know why people always go on the defensive mode when you talk about management of games. It's about ball retention sometimes. And if you can't play the ball forward, then let it go backwards. All the top managers, if you watch them and you watch them closely, they'll never tell you to pass the ball forward if it ain't there. It's keep hold of that ball and go backwards and recycle the ball somewhere else if you have to. And that's something I think Newcastle or at blame are doing at times. They try and progress the ball too many times when the option isn't there.
All right. Wait,
There's Denali's pass map. You never see as many reds as that on his pass map, ever.
I just said he wasn't the perfect Tonali, but you said he was shocking. So I mean, I think the contrast in your words
by his standards. Let's
okay.
qualify it by his standards.
And Bruno wasn't shocking. Okay, look at Bruno and see what happened there. Derek Wedding, it was a good game and we performed well. Stop crying, says. There you go. Stay, Derek Wedding, we performed well. Male Beast, definitely the sub Howe's fault, but you have to admit Howe got the first half right. 100%. Only Angry Noob Gamer, fall apart more than a house of cards. Disgrace. Becca, I want that man out of my club. I'm done. It's too much. Smile says, respect Eddie Howe. He's a generational talent manager. I don't know if he's taking a pee or what's happening there. But Pont Mags, we can't sell Elanga for another 1 or 2 years, amortizing down his contract. Otherwise, we'll take a 20 to 30 million PSR hit in the current year if we sell him in January, says Pont Mags. Toon Nut, that's the best I've seen us play in the first half. And the bedwetters were silent, says everything about them. Epic NUFC, Bruno should start first half and Tonali second half. Bruno has no pace or stamina to play more than 60 minutes at best. Michael there says, how can anyone blame the manager for that? Brent, I think about it. Chelsea bossed the second half. Why? Because Maresca made changes and Howe said on his own hands. It's simple to figure out if you're objective. There you go. We read Middle Beast. Adrian Pickett, bipolarity
is our identity.
Okay, that was hard to say. There you go. Toon Army, rinse and repeat again. John Story says that was 100% a penalty, 3-1 up, and the game is over. Far too much criticism of the team. Was a excellent game, just missing a winner. Dempsey, wins gonna see this as a success. Ooh, you were surprised that was before Win game on, man. He was a bedwetter tonight.
No, Win's not saying this is a success from it. I do agree. If we get that penalty, it's a different game altogether.
Sapir says this happened. Go on, sorry. Finish. Sapir says this happened because you canceled the Christmas party last night. Man, we were knackered with software, man. But now we're back. I had to get on the phone call with them because I was like, man, we got match day. We can't mess around match day. So, but there you go. We were able to get it right. Maybe there's time. I don't know if there's time to bring the Christmas party. That would have been great to have. Celine McKnight says, if there was ever a game this season that confirmed our mid-table finish, it would be this one. Ooh. Fabian Hunter says, it's not like all is bad from Howe. It's just that it isn't enough, and he doesn't have solutions to our current problem. Exactly my point. I just don't see it being, we can finish in Europe, and the next season going to be the same and the same.
Well, the way I look at it is, if we do make a change now, if we can get, I didn't just want anybody in.
No, that's my point. That's why I don't think we should sack him until the end of the season.
But if we could get somebody in, it means that the start they are going to have, it's going to be a window when they can get somebody in that they want, for example. And then the next, because that's a stupid thing. The next 6 games are all eminently winnable. And that would be a great start for a new manager coming in. And it might still not be sufficient to save Eddie's bacon if he's still here and he wins them.
All right, more comments here. But Becca, I'm not confident will be anyone. That's how bad it is. Animal Lecter, I agree with Win, but I think Pope would have saved both of them.
I don't know that he would have saved the second one.
I don't think he'd have saved the first one.
Claire says, why did we take Gordon off? Big Nick was gassed and wouldn't have scored another. He's answering your question. We needed Wissa, but then he puts on Elanga, who is poor at crossing.
Elanga's just. What did you think of Ramsey, by the way? I haven't mentioned that.
He was good. He was good. Yeah, he was good. That's it.
Gary, what do you think of Ramsey?
Ramsey, I thought he did okay. Like I said, he wasn't. It's like
wow.
And you thought Bruno was great, so that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know you want to go down the rabbit hole, man.
I mean, everybody around, our little cohort where we sit, every time Ramsey got the ball, he seemed to screw up. And we're going, bloody, not again.
Well, he only lost the ball 4 times, and I've got the pass map in front of me. So, like I said,
how many passes did he make?
Well, it doesn't tell you exact the amount of passes, but on this one that I've got here, but there is literally, this is from the short corner that we changed up from Tonali. He played the ball into him with 2 players on him, and he lost the ball deep in their corner. He made 1 pass deep in our half to the halfway line that he missed up. There was 1 cross that got taken away. Sorry, 2 crosses that got taken off him. So he lost the ball twice in a tussle and passed the ball away 3 times in the whole game. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing special. Again, man.
Because I've got the figures now. 30 out of 34 successful passes. So you're right. He lost the ball 4 times. 34 touches.
Yeah, but you got to look at the game, how it developed, man.
You've got to look at exactly. You've got to look at the game, and you've got to look at Tonali and Bruno wanting the ball more than he does. That's what I said. You've got 2 players that are demanding the ball. So who is going to get it more? You've got 2 naive players by the side of you, 2 players that just want to be involved in the game. So Ramsey's not going to come and be a voice. The same as Miley. Every time Miley gets the ball and Tonali shouts, "I'll have it," you'll give him a 2-yard ball rather than passing down the line.
I thought Miley was exceptional. I'm starting to really get to like Miley.
Here we go. Okay. NTL here says they did not demolish us. Have had 1 shot on target, and not really though. They have, I think, 5 shots on target. We had 6 or one. It's just by one different on target.
Maybe 2 halves,
wasn't
it? Yeah,
it was. But there you go. NTL. Mark Slavin says only Keegan has got 100 Newcastle wins faster than Eddie, and we're one of the biggest spenders under Keegan. The Howe gang need to give their hands a shake. Paulie Bass says...
Well, here's the difference. XG, 2.26 for us, 1.26 for Chelsea. Big chances, 7 for us, 1 for Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah. Paulie Bass. I'm not going to argue with that. We got to go. Paulie Bass. Tactics didn't make Chow slip. Tactics didn't rob us 2 penalties. Get behind Eddie and stop being so negative. The get behind Eddie, I can only take that as far as the match day is concerned. I personally have a brain of my own. I don't need to be a part of a cult or part of anything like that. I'm going to think if I'm allowed to do so. So other than that,
probably best if you're not.
Yeah, well, somebody would tell you the same. But you know, but you don't even think though. That's the problem. You don't. Actually, today you started thinking, which is good. Good that you're coming to that realization. Kinosi says, "Don't even think Chelsea were great. We were unlucky today." That could be the point. Again, we keep on going about it. That could be a point. But the whole season, are you going to blame it on Chelsea? Or we're having a bad game? I don't know. Northumberland, Andy Madley brother, or Bobby Madley, villain of Sunderland, game of, a few years ago, and the rest of PGMO corruption. I'm lost. I ain't got to know.
That's the game officials, the referees.
Dan Kane Toon, this game is not on Howe. I'm sorry. Today was much better. Believe the boos were for the referee. And Dr. Abuesa says, I changed my mind. We cannot blame a trainee manager. Ooh. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gents. Listen, it's been a lovely match day coverage. We'll be back at it, of course, again. I think it's Man United again next Friday.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, so we'll see. We'll definitely have a show on Monday and Tuesday, so tune in for that, of course. We're going to be live then. We're going to be off on Wednesday and Thursday for Christmas, and we'll put up a message, of course, for Christmas and all that. But if we don't see each other, then if you don't watch the show regularly, we'll see each other Monday or Tuesday anyway. But regardless, Merry Christmas. Start saying Merry Christmas now. Everybody you see, Merry Christmas, blah blah blah, because you may not see them again. Well, again, I mean, hopefully we see each other again, but, I'm talking about since until after Christmas. But right now, go and check out Eddie Howe's post-match comments. It's on the channel now. Check those out. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for support channel. And all the super chatters. Ronnie there with a 10-pounder. David Knight, Jordy Dan, Terpatoni. Thank you, all of you, for supporting the channel. And yeah, we'll be back at it again, man. Appreciate it.
Trapper Toon. Haven't seen Trapper Toon before. Hello, Trapper.
Have a good one, folks. Away the lads.
Away the lads and happy
Lassies
Christmas.
and birds.
Merry
Hello,
Christmas.
baby.
man. Not happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.